So, we've had 3 strong, enlightening theories. My mind is seriously wide open now to every possibility that could come towards us.
Chemtrails was pretty bullshit. I can't defend it.
And Stargate, the theory?
Oh, that, yes.
The movie was better. So this week on Circle of Jerks, we will be covering Trevor's conspiracy theory, or conspiracy truth.
I think it's time that you all need to unhinge yourself from what you know and what you've been told, because there's more going on behind everything that you have been raised to believe in. I'm going to talk about the Zeitgeist movement.
Trevor, the Zeitgeist?
Zeitgeist? Coming from...
Wow.
Literally translating to the spirit of the times.
Ooh, I've read that comic.
This is what is considered to be this is believed to be conspirituality. It is a philosophical movement started up. It is a call to action that began in 2006 and continues on to this day. It started off as a small documentary series that went viral over the early days of YouTube. Excellently well put, Andrew. Millions of people are observing what's called Z-Day rallies, in which people get together to talk about what direction they want to take the world in. To go to the start with the particular founder, it began with a documentary in 2006 simply called Zeitgeist. The core of the Zeitgeist movement hinges on 3 distinct principles. The first being that all religion is a lie designed intentionally to keep you oppressed.
I'm with you.
And it goes through a debunking segment explaining how the parable of Jesus, born of a virgin, dying for 3 days and then returning to cleanse the sins of mankind, was not a lie, but a fairy tale made up based on constellation movements. That the sun will start in the constellation of Virgo during the winter solstice, will enter the Southern Cross for about 3 days before it resumes its path after the longest night.
Oh, I saw that. I read that Green Lantern comic.
I just figured it was lag. I mean, how many times have I died in a video game and had to wait 2 minutes to come back just due to the
all respawn?
Yeah.
And ever since wealthy people have used religion as a tool to oppress the masses. The second part is that all of mankind's wars have been engineered, specifically to profit the 1%. Yeah.
Not denying any of this.
And the third part goes into about how that 1%, including the Bilderberg Group and most that people would consider to be Illuminati, do have a secret agenda pushing things towards a one-world government, using a fictitious currency that we would all be indoctrinated to believe in, that is indeed absolutely meaningless, except to benefit empowering the strong. We would toil away at slave labor jobs while they could continue to live in comfort above the rest of us. And so have the same families been doing so for hundreds upon hundreds of years. Why it became a movement was that in the second documentary, it became a call to action, that the founder of the Zeitgeist movement is calling on anybody who has seen it to rally forth and try to unchain yourself from government entirely, to try and that capitalism is in itself that is an artificially created evil designed only for oppression, and only by distancing yourself from all forms of currency in capitalism, by completely unbanking yourself, will you be able to resist the chains that hold you back spiritually.
So, at first your alternate currency or fictitious currency, what do you mean by that?
Currency in itself was designed to benefit few, rather than simply... Nice.
Even distribution.
Yeah. Dude.
No, go on, guys, come on. If your conviction cannot be derailed by such minor I'm listening.
By a pair of retards.
So Trevor,
Dude,
if
your
you would,
word for this night is like retard. Like, what's going on here?
explain to me how they plan to solidify 6 continents into one nation under one currency.
Under one currency?
I can see areas where they're trying to, what with like the North American...
The perpetuation of fear using engineered terrorist attacks and wars will make people want a one-world government. That the only way to end a war would be for governments to merge.
Under one banner.
Correct.
The
Clearly-
1% banner.
All in all, it's a grab bag of every single conspiracy of an Illuminati, New World Order nature. Religion is a lie, put together. But what's the amazing thing about it is that, I guess because of the time that it came about, millions of people have taken to it and have begun gathering in rallies in order to try and direct the world in a new path.
So is this like, we are the 99%, the Occupy Wall Street, the majority against the elites?
It is a lot of that. It is a lot of that, but the part of the Occupy movement was for calling for a redistribution of wealth from the 1% to share with the rest. This is saying you should be abandoning money entirely. Not to them, not even to the movement itself, but you should just be completely unbanking yourself.
But human history is filled with, we trade. If there's not money, we find something to put a value to and trade against that.
Which is what makes us vulnerable to those manipulations.
There'll always be a barter system.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter what it is. Fallout covered it the best. At the end of the world, there'll be bottle caps as our currency. It doesn't fucking matter what it is.
The ultimate evil in this is not so much the trading of resources. It's by using a meaningless currency such as the American dollar,
which is just paper.
Actually,
and
the vast majority of it's not even paper.
It's digital now.
Yeah.
So by putting so much of your faith in the evils of market capitalism, you've allowed yourself to be enslaved to a false ideal.
Wow, that's a tough one. Because
it is a lot to take in.
You're arguing almost against human nature, because as I said, if you don't have money, humans will find something to put value in and trade against that. And
it is an inherent greed and desire, which
allows
you to be manipulated.
Yeah, but ultimately, we all want the most toys. We all want the most wealth. We all want the most power.
Which is why communism never works.
Absolutely.
Because you look at Joe next door and you say, I want better than he, I want more than him.
I deserve. It's not I want, it's I deserve. That's the society we live in now. It's not a question of want anymore. Because I want to make sure my family is taken care of. But I also feel like I deserve more money, more respect, more power. That's what it is. It's not want anymore. It's a feeling of deserve.
So if we do away with money, as the Zeitgeist suggests, what do we...
Eventually it'll be another thing. It'll be goods and services. And
yeah,
guess what?
What do we...
Now all of a sudden I go, my goods and services are worth this much of your goods and services. That's the point of currency. It's to have a unified currency that we use to barter for goods and services.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you say, what really good is money? Yeah, it's just paper. But it's the idea behind the money. It's the idea that it's the universal currency, as opposed to going, one of my loaves of bread is worth 1 hour of, say, Rob, you breaking stones in my backyard. But how does that translate into Trevor's writing us a song? Or how does that that translate into you, Andrew, giving us back rubs? You know what I mean? No. I'm just using that. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just saying,
but it's saying that there should be a unified system. That ultimately the
currency,
the currency would be between you and him, and should not be held to the same standard as you and I.
Yeah, but that's the thing is I'm going, okay, my hour. So then, okay, 2 loaves of my bread are worth one of your songs. Therefore, that's worth 2 hours of Rob.
Not necessarily. I might feel differently about Rob.
So then now you're going. You start using different levels of currency in favor. How is that going to work?
I think where the difference comes in is when you talk about something like a loaf of bread. That's accessible to everyone and it's controlled by no one. When you're talking about a country currency, that is controlled by someone else outside of any of our sphere of influence. We have no control over how much money
It
we
doesn't
have
matter
is
how
worth.
much I like Rob. $2 is still worth $2.
Unless the powers that be decide that $2 is not $2. But is that the is the basis of the Zeitgeist argument money? Like, is that what it boils down to?
No, it's power.
He
Because
brought
money
in
is power.
three
That's what
different
it
areas.
ultimately comes down to. The first one is religion.
But religion has been all about money.
It's casting...
money and power. That is what religion
It's
is.
casting off the shackles of religion.
But what is the basis of religion?
Power, control. It's the basis of everything.
Then
Everything comes... Okay.
can't you just boil that
Currently,
argument down into
yes.
one?
Yes, but there's 3 stages in the human mind. First one, it being religious, the spirituals aspect of us.
Which is used to control people.
Absolutely.
Sure. For the purpose of...
And this is speaking as a Christian, guys, just letting everybody know. I'm a terrible Christian, but I'm one nonetheless.
No. You are a fantastic Christian because you question things.
Yeah, absolutely I'm going to question things. I still believe in capital G God.
I believe in
Cats? I believe in cats
I
too.
love my cats. I'm sorry, yes.
Effectively, the Zeitgeist movement works on the 3 different grounds, which are
Newgrounds?
weaken, that being the religious side of it, weaken resolve, weaken understanding, weaken faith.
Are
Then
they
it goes
anti-science? Is that what...
If science empowers the person, then yes.
Then it goes to diminish. So diminish all those who have the capability to question, and then it has control. Now that there's no one left to question, and the rest are so pacified and not in control, you claim control, and it's all organized through one centralized unit that's doing this.
So, like
Money is just the easiest way to control things
global
at the
world
moment.
order. Like, basically,
money.
it's a single order that controls the entire world is the ultimate game.
Effectively.
If we're going to get into this, okay, first of all, money or currency, or, well, no, you know what, we'll just call it money. It also controls spirituality these days. Because a lot of religions are corrupt.
They
I
always
will
have
not deny that. Because with power comes corruption. Religions have a lot of power. Therefore, a lot of religions are corrupt. Money controls the spirituality these days. Throw enough money at a church and they'll fucking say whatever you want them to say. Money controls the person. Throw enough money at the person. And money also controls like politics. Money is absolutely the end-all, be-all to human civilization as it stands right now. Because if I came to you tomorrow and told you your greatest moral that you have, your moral strengths that you have currently, if I offered you $20 million, nobody would ever ask questions, nobody would ever find out. Would you betray one of your morals?
Yes.
$20 million.
$20 million and no one's going to find out about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, very likely.
So, because you're human, that is the condition with the entire world. Is we're all human. Every person is corruptible. Every person has a price.
Especially
Would-
if you word it that
would-
way.
yeah,
Then I
no.
wouldn't have to betray a very potent moral.
What if you have to betray that?
Like a potent moral? It would depend on the one.
No. But ultimately, everybody has a price.
Everyone does have a
Oh,
price,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
$20 million, I bet you could get anyone to
It's a
do
drop
anything.
in the bucket for some of the richest people in the world
Yeah.
who
No
are
shit, yeah.
supposedly part of the Illuminati or any of those big groups.
Bilderberg.
The stonemasons.
The lizard people.
The lizard people have all the stones.
In conjunction with the reverse vampires.
Well, they need them for basking.
But that's what it comes down to: is I can corrupt you spiritually, emotionally, and intellectually. The three parts of a human. Your ego, id, and superego are all bought. Like,
But that comes down to your currency. He is bartering.
But that's
his,
what-
no.
for the
He
universal
is
currency.
bartering his emotional, his spiritual, and his whatever the fuck against your money.
Absolutely.
It's a barter system, and
Absolutely.
it's absolute basic.
and the Illuminati controls the currency. That is what part of this is. is there's one power who absolutely controls the currency. So they can buy out any aspect of any being and any power. Or in any position of power.
You dumb twats are doing his job for him.
I know I am, because I'm helping Trevor out, unlike what he did with mine when he immediately fucking started berating. Paul is fucking dead.
But there's no hard feelings, clearly.
None. Paul is dead.
Do some work.
But it's the creation of money that allows us also to be manipulatable. With the Federal Reserve controlling things as they do, we allow ourselves to be manipulated, and we end up chasing distractions that will allow ourselves to buy into fears that will crave greater security. Therefore, we'll start making concessions to our individual liberties and place more trust in market capitalism to monitor us. That, you know how they say that we're all going to be microchipped? Don't need to be. We all carry smartphones with us that can have the GPS turned on by remote.
Yeah.
It's one step towards that. That with 9/11 having been an inside job, we allowed ourselves to bring in the Patriot Act and everything else.
Oh, so Trevor isn't talking about conspiracies.
This is all a part of it.
He is talking about conspiracy.
Jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
Yeah, that was a dangerous thing to bring up.
But this is also a crucial
All
part
of
of it.
our conspiracies that we talked about before would be a part of this.
Okay, but my point. Okay, so where is
Is
the
to
end
control
game
the
with
people.
this? You know what? At the same time,
Is
if
to mold the
my
human race.
spiritual, moral beliefs are worth that much money to you or that much power to
They're
you,
worth nothing to me.
I am and if I can trade that for additional money or power, because money is power over other people, then
rules
if it's worth
everything
it to
around
me,
me.
then why not? You know, I mean, that's the thing, is we all, as human nature, is to crave power. So you know what? If you want my spiritual side for power, and it's worth it to me, fucking take it. And in that case, what is wrong with that? Why should I be negatively affected by it? It sounds like it's a win for me. I agree to a deal that works for me.
So what's the other two movies about?
The call to action to try the only way that that people can shift away from these control mechanisms that have been imposed upon us is to recognize the faults inherent within the system. That market capitalism has brought us to this, and that the planet will die because unless there is money to be made in saving it, there's going to be no urge to do so.
But what's the end game? Like, what's their alternative?
The end game on this one, for that point,
No.
was to cancel Captain Planet.
But you can't say...
Don Cheadle's going to be upset.
You can't
So
say
upset.
that our whole monetary system is a level of control, which it, in a sense, kind of is. But there
Have you
has
seen
to
that
be an
YouTube
alternative. You can't throw it out without having something. How do humans exist?
What?
No. If you're gonna say that our whole monetary system is evil and it's a use for control,
No.
great, throw it away.
We're not saying it's evil, though.
But what
it
do they?
just is.
But what do they recommend as a replacement? You can't
They
say
recommend-
fuck all
you
this
can't.
without having
Communism.
nothing.
They have one. No, they say specifically that Jacques Fresco's Venus Project is the more environmentalist, resource based way to go. That rather
Okay.
than relying on fractal reserve banking, they should be like downplaying the global scale to more
Oh my God, what?
individual resource based economy.
Wait, are you promoting nationalism? Like, what do you mean by resource-based economy?
A very sociable form of nationalism.
So basically, America first? Are we extolling Donald Trump here and basically saying,
Wow, that's a shoehorn in. thing.
well, are we basically saying, no, we're going to do away with the global economy and it's our country first?
Obviously not, because there are millions of people who are doing gatherings in England, France, and other countries. So it can't just be America first. What they're saying is to break away from all banking entirely.
But what do you? Okay, replace it with.
The Venus Project, which is a more localized resource-based allocation,
What does resource-based allocation mean? Bartering?
more down to closer environmentalism and bartering. That companies can still exist, but they must work in service to not a non-profit to work at trying to repair the damage done to the planet.
Communism? If you're not working for a profit, what are you working for?
You're working for not yourself.
Communism.
There's more than just one or the other, Andrew.
It's similar to communism, but effectively everyone has a job and they do that job based on the nature of the job. They get the pay they need.
Communism.
But they're making work for the community. It's pretty much communism.
Communism.
Socialism?
That's
Or not-
communism.
Well, a nationalist version of socialism. When was the last film, the third film, created?
Excellent question, because the first, I think 2013.
So, not that recently.
In as much as 3.5 years is not that recently.
See,
Is there a reason they decided to stop at 3 films, 3 being the main number of the Catholic Church? And they have 3 points per movie?
Are you gonna fucking tie this into Half-Life 3 now all of a sudden?
Half-Life
No.
3.
I'm tying
Confirmed.
it back to these films being a connection to supporting what they're trying to stand against.
My problem is it sounds like the whole argument is we're standing against this whole, capitalist system, but let's move to a different capitalist system. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, I am all for no globalization, but
However,
at the
it's
same
not-
time, are you going to ditch currency and then move to a more form of local currency? It's the same fucking thing.
But except it's not within a group that has been controlling people for hundreds of years. That there is a specific group who has been doing so, and that is the enemy.
What is the group?
The Bilderberg Group.
Oh, okay.
And the documentary flatly calls out the Bilderberg Group as the people who have engineered these disputes.
And no, please, why? Why would they do this?
To preserve their way of life as comfortable with other people doing basically the labor for them, that they can enjoy the power that goes with living above everybody else.
Is it kind of like the shadow government theory?
Potentially.
Thanks, Obama.
No, I get what he's saying though. Like there's a group at the top of all world leaders who are sort of secretly manipulating.
A shadow.
I'm familiar
Everyone.
with the Bilderberg
Yeah,
Group.
that-
The
that-
top 100. They choose a new place to meet every year.
Yeah, that governments currently exist in service to this private group who use the banking system to preserve their particular way of life, and as soon as people become aware of it, they promote warlike agendas, orchestrating events to make us so terrified that we will sign away our individual liberties and accept mass-produced things like smartphone app games to keep us docile, because
Like gotcha games?
like gotcha games.
Oh, motherfuckers, I'm
I
infected.
believe the term is bread and circuses.
The Bilderberg Group largely being controlled by the Rockefellers, the
Yeah.
Sachs, the Rothschilds.
So what I'm seeing though from the Zeitgeist thing is it's an unrealistic goal. You can't just take a society that's built on a currency, rip it away, and then say, okay, live happily. I mean, shit doesn't work that way.
Well, the ultimate goal is to think outside of your own selfish desires and focus on the technology that can heal the world. Like, it is very much a pro-technological advancement advocacy group.
Pro-science?
Very pro-science.
Pro Stargate?
Absolutely. But it says that it shouldn't be science for profit. It should be science because the world, like, the population needs to take more accountability for what it's doing to the world.
But it's human nature to do things for personal advancement. I mean, why would I do?
But
For,
should
for
it
selfish
be?
desire?
Yeah, why?
Should it be?
Why would I? Why do I go to work if not to make money?
Why do you come here? Because we didn't offer you any money, but you came out of here not for your own selfish desire, did you?
But out of emotional
That's
sentiment.
true. I
But-
am not being paid to do this.
Nope, you were
Trevor-
here because of the sense of community.
And emotional sentiment. 'Cause
Right,
he has
yeah.
emotional connection to us.
Some people go to work because they enjoy it.
Bullshit.
Well, no. You can definitely enjoy your job. You can love what you do. There are definitely people that love what you do, love what they do.
They
Name
wouldn't love
one.
it as much if they didn't get paid.
Uh,
Would
if
you,
they
would you
knew
do it
But-
for free?
but I-
if they knew they were going to be taken care of anyways with food and that kind of thing, there are people that would go to work and do something with their day. They're
Hey.
called hobbyists.
are we going to devolve? Are we going to start talking about basic income?
No, not everything's politics, man.
Well, but no, it is. If you're talking about money, then yeah.
This whole movement, the Zeitgeist movement, is very political, so I understand why he's getting into this. However, I actually agree with you. I don't think humanity is going to be able to get to the point that they want it to be at.
No,
I
because
think
it
it's
requires
too
you to
ingrained into our minds.
It requires you to suppress so much of your own innate selfish desire.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you do things. I do things because I have to. I mean, yeah, I like what I do personally. I like my job.
So you have to do this?
But there's
What you're
tons
doing
of
currently,
things
you
I
have to
do
do.
because you have to do it.
So not everything you do, you have to do. You're doing this because you want to do it.
This, yes.
So, you said before, everything you do, you have to do.
But is this a betterment to other people? Am I doing something right now that benefits mankind?
Absolutely.
You're making me happy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And what if Rob ends up being the next leader of Canada?
Then
certainly
I
wouldn't wear brown shoes with a
expect
black
a
suit.
very lucrative minister position with a full pension after 4 years.
Selfish desire. This is why we need the Illuminati. Your own
you
selfish
have a
desire
science
is
degree?
corrupting
This
you.
is why we
Or
need to
chemistry
unchain
degree?
ourselves from these kinds of
No, I have a
Institutions.
diploma
Release
in
yourself
IT.
from the shackles
Then
of
you're going to
mortality.
be my department advisor of the environment.
I can tell you, I would be excellent.
Daddy Wap?
I would
believe
save you so much money
I have no proof, but I believe
because
you.
we would have zero budget.
Daddy Wap? You need to release yourself from the shackles of mortality.
You're just asking
You
him
need
to
to
kill
rise
himself.
above.
You're just asking him to kill himself.
You need to rise above your own selfish desire
Why?
for the betterment of humanity as a whole.
But is humanity going to do the same?
If
That's the problem.
If everybody does it, then everybody will.
If everybody does it, if I'm the only one who tries
But
it,
see, in
I
that
am going to
attitude-
fail
But that
spectacularly.
attitude means everybody fails, so not every vote counts, right?
So unless you can,
problem with
organize
that is
every person to do
The
it,
problem is you can't. Everything always starts small. It starts with an individual who has an impact on those closest to him, and an accountability from them to each other to act in accordance with that. That we'd have an agreement not to fuck each other over,
true.
and you'd ask them to influence their own personal circle. It's not you. Like the what billions of people do is not on you, but how you act amongst your contemporaries very much is at the core of this.
That's religion.
It's entirely true.
It's
But
getting really
if no
good.
one else does it, I mean, I can be a get rid of all
Because-
my personal possessions and work for the benefit of mankind. But if no one else does it, well, then I'm just a sucker.
That
Do you think,
that is
do you
exactly.
think humanity can actually get to the point where they are all working in harmony like that?
You know what? Star Trek. That is Star Trek. You look.
Because
You
if
watch
you-
Star Trek: Next Generation. That's how they work. They have no money, and the whole thing that drives their system
It's
is
an
ener-
altruistic society.
is that
basically.
energy is free. And they have replicators. They can produce whatever. So energy is free, and they can produce whatever they want whenever they want.
But if he doesn't believe that humanity can get to that point, then he needs to make another case for his theory. Otherwise, we've all debunked it and said we don't believe it already.
No. I believe we can get there as a whole. However, there has to be a certain level of social
Socialism.
hive mentality. We have to start giving more of a damn about each other, as opposed to our own selfish desires.
But that's the thing that's been contrived for us, is that we've been told to be afraid, to shut ourselves in, to isolate our own social bubbles.
Then we will never care about our fellow man.
Exactly, because we are too busy sitting on buses to our menial jobs, staring down at our phones with headphones on. We have effectively blinded ourselves from our own community in favor of the safe and comfortable. But by doing that, you've completely cut off your chance at empathy. That
Well, okay. How do you propose that? So, as a person, how do I do that?
We have to hit a state of consciousness as a whole.
How do I, as a person, care about
First,
my
you're going to let me
well-being?
finish my sentence. We have to hit a consciousness as a whole. So, if you're going by like Star Trek, Star to this, Star to that, the Borg have a hive mind mentality. They have one thought, one feeling, but each individual has their own
No, there is no individualism. That's the Borg.
I'm using individual as a human term looking
Except
at
that
the Borg.
The Borg is
Each
the
unit-
natural extreme of the Federation.
Yeah, but the Borg, by definition, has no individualism.
I
We
just
are the
fucking
Borg.
explain that. Looking out as the humans at the Borg, fine. Each unit of the Borg has their own perceptions, except that's one of the whole. To hit the state of socialism that we want, we have to think like that. Or we have to all be put in such a docile state. Think Wall-E at the very end when everybody's sitting on their fucking chairs watching their goddamn cartoons or their TV shows or whatever, which is surprisingly where we're heading.
So,
Everything is automated.
They don't need to do anything for themselves.
That is absolutely it. The minute you stop putting effort into stuff and you are still given the same state of life as the next person, as soon as everything becomes automated, everything is done for you. You do not have anything to offer to the world for goods and services where the world no longer needs it. Everything is automated by CGI, done by robots going, oh, this is what people will like. We're going to make our own fucking show with CGI. As soon as you really relieve the world of the arts, crafts, and individuality, then you can have the socialist society. Because then you lose ambition. Once you get rid of ambition from the world, then you can have a fucking socialist capitalist society. Because then people no longer desire more.
But
want
what you
more.
But without ambition, how do we progress?
You don't anymore.
You need an
That's the point.
That's
You-
more dangerous than anything.
Except you need an altruistic goal for the community to strive towards.
But that's what I'm saying. It's complete automation of the world. If you no longer have to go to work, but you will have all the luxuries you ever want, would you take that opportunity right now?
I would enjoy that.
Right?
Because it would give me the time to focus on an altruistic goal. If my basic needs are
But that's the thing is, the world is already going to be taken care of. Global warming is taken care of. All the robots are solar powered. You don't have to worry about going anywhere, doing anything. Food will be brought to you. Food will be fed to you. You just sit in a chair, watching TV shows, making love to your wife, your beautiful wife.
Wow.
And,
But
well, no.
if-
Let me finish this up. Let me
Paints
finish
quite
this
the
up.
picture.
You make love to your beautiful wife. Everything is done for you, by you. Well, not by
But
you,
how
sorry.
does
by the
anything
robots.
get done?
The robots, AI. You're thinking
Which is-
Matrix level.
which
Oh,
if-
Jesus.
if the
that
wor-
sounds horrific.
Here's the thing. If you
From the outside.
if you-
From the inside, if you are in bliss, you don't know anything else other than bliss.
if
Ignorance is bliss.
if the world is in such a comfortable state, not like society, but the planet itself, if the environment is in a comfortable enough repaired state that the technology implemented can sustain it, like rather than extracting resources from it and burning it as a fuel to drive our systems, if there was a way that technology could work in concert with it, then why not have that kind of altruistic,
Because
comfortable state?
As soon as you add in the element of ambition, as soon as somebody thinks, I know how this world can be better, somebody else will have an opposing idea on how the world can be better. That is why we have opposing views on government.
But why would...
Trump.
Hear me out. Somebody thinks the world will be a lot better if we really, really push forward on automation. Another person goes, we lose our individuality. The best way to move forward in the world is to focus on arts and crafts. Now you have two opposing views.
That is not actually opposing views. Those are two parallel views.
But then also you have somebody who have arts and crafts. Somebody goes, like say Rob here, you write wonderful poems. People love hearing your poems. Trevor here writes beautiful songs. Everybody wants to hear his songs. I come in going, my poems are really good. My poems, you guys should listen to my poems. My poems are garbage. But I'm going, I deserve the same as him because he writes beautiful poems and I write garbage poems. So I should still get the same benefits of writing these things.
See, I argue that your those two poems are
And then
parallel.
also-
So Trevor here is a chef. So if automation can take care of him being a chef, and he has time to
create recipes.
create recipes, create songs.
But the AI is already doing that. Once we
How
get the
does he?
paradigm.
How does he exist? What does he do to earn money?
That's the thing is, if we have a complete automation, why do we need money? If the robots are doing everything, why do we even need that? We have robots to repair the robots. This is what I'm talking about. Once we hit the singularity, the singularity, everything's done. Humanity on a whole will either be extremely comfortable or wiped out.
But why does anybody do anything then at that point?
That's what I'm saying. Why does
What
humanity
are you
exist?
saying?
Why does humanity exist at that point if we have no purpose? If we live in a life of comfort, do we only exist to live in comfort?
We exist for the sake of community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
we live in community for the fact that we help each other out live. But if everything is done for us, what purpose do we have to live anymore?
So you're saying that what we require is ambition, selfish desire, and conflict and strife.
Absolutely.
Because that's what gives us our
That's
purpose.
what drives
That's
people.
absolutely what drives us.
Yeah.
That is a very negative life outlook.
But why? Why is it negative?
Because why should you not want to go lead yourself to a life above conflict and strife?
Okay.
Because conflict and strife lead.
It sparks ambition.
Yeah.
It divides people.
We found penicillin because of mold. We found a positive through the negative.
What?
We found a positive through the negative.
That was an accident. Someone dropped a thing in a thing.
Absolutely. So through an accident,
It wasn't like a conflict between two people and one person came up with it.
if our whole life is handed to us on a silver platter, robotics feed us. Robotics, we watch TV. We talk. We won't really even need we won't even really need to communicate with one another.
So you're saying
If everything is done for us, what need do you have to talk with somebody else?
companionship?
Okay, so you have your companion, you have your wife, you have your son, whose only life has ever been everything is done for me. What do I do with life?
What have we been talking about for the
Honestly, I'm too drunk. I don't even know.
Like, he stated your case, you guys started conversing, but who's trying to prove what about
I don't even know
this?
what I'm trying to prove anymore. I've lost myself in this conversation.
That's why I'm not talking much.
Ultimately, guys, what I did there, I was talking out of my ass. I honestly can't remember 50% of what I just fucking said, because like I said, I am hammered.
I honestly
I
have
am
to
playing the devil's
apologize
advocate
for
on
turning
this.
that into a political argument. That
Andrew,
was wrong.
Andrew, this one was on me, man. I was just talking out of my ass.
I don't think I did anything wrong.
I was absolutely talking out of my ass. I honestly can't remember most of the shit I was saying. All I was doing was trying to describe Wall-E. I'll be completely honest. I keep remembering the scenes where they're in their fucking seats watching the videos while robots do everything. And I was like, I'm just going to describe that.
Trevor, I think you should look up some Wall-E fan fiction.
Have you ever watched Wall-E?
Rob, what would you like to apologize for?
Why have I not been given a paragraph about the flat earth theory yet?
Flat Earth is where we're going to really decompress.
Nathan, you want a drink?